What is cancel, ban, and boycott culture? It's value neutral. It's not just something that woke people trying to prove their progressive credentials do, as we have particularly seen most recently in the Tanishq. In my years of representing rape victims and those and victims of corporate impunity, there's one of the things that I've learned is that when privilege is a habit, equality feels like oppression. Women, queer people, and Dalits have spent centuries being trod upon and being effectively cancelled, not just by the legal systems, but also by the political systems and also by the culture. Who coined the phrase? It was people with privilege. It was people who felt threatened. It was people who felt cancelled in response to calls for justice. After the Me Too movements, after the Black Lives Matter movements, the creation of insulted privilege is cancelled. But the history of boycotts, for instance, has a long and proud resonance in India, and particularly. Of course, the word cancel culture comes from the United States. But Gandhiji, in the non-cooperation movement, allied with the Ali brothers to make a mass Swadeshi movement that dented the colonial power of the British to a very, very significant extent. Boycotts, therefore, helped win our independence. Ahimsa itself, in a way, is a civil disobedience that is boycott of the legal system. Now, cancel culture can also be powered by fascism. Let us be clear that fascism, and Indian fascism in particular, is the epitome of cancel culture. Because what it does is that it speaks to the requirement of a single religion, a single leader, even a single language. The thing is that the Tanishq was withdrawn not only because of the boycott, it was very much also withdrawn because of the death threats that were sent to the brand managers and people who were today itself, people who were in a shop outlet yesterday in Gujarat, today in another state. And the Tatas clearly didn't have faith that the police would step up or that the courts would be swift enough, would have the capacity to act fast enough to protect them. So at their heart, then, these protests are a desperate call. These cancels, these bans, these boycotts, they're a desperate call.
Sure.
They're a call from women speaking in Me Too for the justice system to reform itself towards real justice.
Okay.
There are calls by Dalit Lives Matter so that Hathras doesn't happen when they approach the courts and when they approach rather the legal system, that they don't get beaten by the police, that the capacity is faster. So I'll just take 2 seconds to conclude. And so I think the call, therefore, is for our judicial systems to rise in response to these cancels and boycotts and bans, to occupy